Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, how are you? This is Eddie Marcus once again, and this is my second time today. And I'm back because you need some information that I got if you will use it. Today I was so incapacitated. In other words, I was so sick, I thought maybe this might have been the last day. I took a lay down, and it seemed just by lying down it was going to be the end. I was going to have to vomit up the whole house and you know what. Then something said, well, why don't you go to the doctor? Then I thought about, I got so many doctor bills piled up from times I've had to go to the doctor. And when they put my name into the system, the first thing they're going to see is how much he owes. And depending upon that amount, they'll determine whether or not they want to increase any more debt. And if not, they'll give me a water pill or whatever. Now, that might just be playing it lightly now, but that's something that I would consider. And it kind of bothered me as I was lying there trying to recuperate to a point of at least understanding, trying to understand why I'm feeling so bad. And while I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about you, the people. Yes. A little bit later on, my son came by just to stop through and gave me a little assistance. And he told me that he he got a job during the day, but now he got two more. He's working three jobs now. He's looking forward to getting married. He want to make sure they can have some decent standard of living, so he's working three jobs. You don't think that told me to see my son working three jobs? When is he going to get a chance to live? His whole living is going to be to serve somebody else who's holding him to this kind of situational system. While he gets some money there, if he finds some time, he might be able to engage in some of those things that money will allow him to do. Now let me tell you why that hurts me so bad. That hurts me so bad because between the age of 4 and 18, going to church and all that kind of stuff, I saw how the people pretend church. I saw one man show what it means like to be real about church. That was Dr. Martin Luther King. I never ran across another man like that in my life. Now, I'm thinking about what had happened to me between those 18 years, outside of what I just mentioned. Do you know what happened? Like little kids who do stupid things, I was one of them. I went one time and threw myself in a lake. Never swam before, did a little dog paddling. And I was going to swim across that lake when nobody was out there but me, to prove to myself that I could do it. So when the big boys come out to the lake, I could swim and shock them because I would have proven to myself I could do it. It never dawned on me what happened if I couldn't do it. That thought never crossed my mind. But I went out there doing it, got about a third of the way, and next thing I know, the Lord that I can't see, can't touch, can't feel, used a snake to chase my butt back to that bank, get out of that lake. How many folks you know? How many of you know someone that has drowned, or somebody you know who had somebody that drowned, lost their lives? Well, that life was supposed to have been gone. Oh man, there's so many times that God showed me his hand. But for those of you who said, well, maybe God wasn't in that, let me tell you something else. I was in a cotton field one time, standing up singing a song, just thinking or whatever, and all of a sudden something happened. I froze, I couldn't move. Next thing I knew, something snatched my working utensil out of my hand, turned me around, had me running and screaming. I didn't know why. I hadn't done anything dumb that day. I was just working, chopping cotton. And then out of nowhere, this happened to me. And after feeling safe again, after I ran so far away, I came back to investigate and found out that where I was standing, there was a cottonmouth moccasin up in those stalks of cotton just getting ready to take care of me between my legs. Oh my God. Now you can say what you want to say, but I didn't turn myself around. I didn't just get panicky on myself and hair stand up. I just started running and screaming on myself. Something moved me. And I came back and saw what it was. And I give God that glory. And I asked myself over the time, why did God do this for me? I didn't ask right away. I was just glad. But between the age of 18 and let's say, one more time to tell you how stupid I was. I went to Myrtle Beach when I was 18 years old. I got kicked out of high school. And there was no work in Mississippi at that time, so they sent us to do a migrant worker labor. You know how they send the migrants over from Mexico and old places here to work cheap? Well, I was caught up in one of those bands. Went out to North Carolina to pick tobacco. My friends were in 12th grade at high school. But when I got kicked out, I took the GED right fast, passed the GED, because I had a scholarship possibly waiting for me. Anyway, I went to North Carolina, and one day, just to celebrate some of the guys and myself, we went to Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach. You heard of Myrtle Beach. Having fun. I'm just going to show you how ignorant I can be sometimes. All of us swimming in what you call a safe area. You know, nobody trying to go way out there in the ocean. No. We just went around what we call a safe area. Say anywhere between from the beach to maybe 100 yards out. That might be far. Let me bring it down to 50. That sounds more reasonable. And so we go out there and swim, and then the waves come in. You guys, you know what I'm talking about. And when the waves come in, you want to ride. We can't surf, but we'll ride the waves. Boom, boom, boom. And my ignorant, crazy, dumb, stupid individual, having done this for a while, I decided that this time everybody's going to swim the waves. But I'm going to go underwater, and I'm going to swim under. You know me, I'm going under there. I'm going to be something special. See, I didn't know anything about the beach. First beach I'd ever been to that I know of. I don't know how the beach operates. Anyway, I went down there. And everybody started going, and when the waves came, they went, and I went under to go swim to the beach. And as I called myself swimming, I felt myself going back. I'm wondering, what the heck is happening? I'm going back out in the water. There was an undertow that I was caught in. Never heard of it before. An undertow? And I'm trying to stop. So I'm down low. I'm trying to put my foot on the bottom down there so I can get some stopping. But the only thing that sand was doing was coming from around my feet. I had to pray right quick. You know, you say, pray. I had to pray right quick. Lord, help me. And he did. Because I got against a squat. And as I squat, I sunk down. And as I sunk down, I let my feet touch the ground. And as soon as it touched, I pushed myself up. And I pushed myself up enough to get caught in that current that was wiping me back to the shore. Do you think I've been back in Myrtle Beach? No, ma'am. I ain't been back to Myrtle Beach since. Okay, now let me get to my point. Between the age of 18, I'll just say that age, let's say 28, I didn't pay too much focus on what that message of God doing these miracles for me. I just was grateful and kept on living just like anybody else. Just like anybody else. But there was something that happened to me, ladies and gentlemen, that probably didn't happen to many of you. My mother was, I think, about 15 years old when I was born. And her mother was kind of young, had 10 or 11 kids, so she couldn't handle me. My mother definitely couldn't. And my great-great-grandmother, old lady, took me in and raised me. And they must have did a pretty good job. I didn't learn life like most of you guys who were raised by young people. I learned life by old people. People who had been through what your folks had been through, who had come through it and saw it on the other side. And they raised me on the other side. So I always had compassion for folks. I didn't always see things as trying to get over, trying to hustle the best way I can. I saw things that the way they brought it to me. And so, by the time I got 28 years old, living in Chicago, working with the Veterans Administration and seeing all the systemic poverty that was going around, looking at the crime and the violence, looking at the ghettos and the rich lifestyle and the low lifestyle and the people hustling trying to survive. And it woke me up. It took me to an awareness to recognize that God truly is real, and the reason that we suffer the things that we suffer in this life is because we ignore God. I mean, everywhere we go, we're taught to ignore God. We're taught to ignore God in school. We're taught to ignore God in church. Now you say, how were you taught to ignore God in church when you got the Bible there and you believe that the Bible is the unadulterated word of God? How? And if you do that, how? But the truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, is that even with the Bible and the things that it says, you who don't know God cannot interpret what is there. And just because a man says he's a preacher doesn't allow him to interpret. You see, there's nothing you can do as far as your own facilities go that's going to make you capable of dealing with the truth the way it actually is. The only thing that can bring you to the truth is revelation. I mean, the real truth is revelation. Oh, you can learn basic principles of things, but the real truth is revelation. It got to be revealed to you. You will only know that God exists even though you see the earth. You'll find all kind of beliefs to justify. You'll find all kind of beliefs to say you believe in God. But the evidence that you don't believe in God is that you don't trust God. The things that you learn from the church and the things that you do in relationship to what you learn in the church is those things, or should I say, are those things that the system that you live under will permit you to do. They will permit you to go to church. They will permit you to come. The system will permit you to read the Bible. They used to wouldn't let you read the Bible in other parts of the world. But now they'll permit you to do that. Can you imagine the Catholic Church wouldn't let you read the book? Now that would tell you something, huh? That should tell you something. But here we are. And I'm in this situation where people try to give what? Charity. Because the Bible talks about charity. Fix a sandwich. Feed the homeless. And they think that means go in your kitchen, fix you some sandwiches, go down to the street and go to a little public place, and all the folks coming there that can get to there, who don't have food to eat today, and you can eat something. And then you go back home and I go back feeling good that I helped you. You know why? Because the system permitted you to do that and tricked you to think that you had glorified God in so doing it. So you went back with your chest sticking out. Those same people will be back tomorrow or tonight or the middle of the day. Or they'll be standing on the street corner with a sign. And so you ask yourself, what godliness have you done? I mean, that's what I would ask myself. And even if I was in one of those positions on the corner of the street and I saw you at church, I would ask myself, what you doing up in there? Your work is out here. But you wouldn't listen. Anyway, to make a long story short, by the time I was 28, God had revealed to me why he saved my life. He wanted to use me. Now, that didn't mean that I had survived by the hand of God to continue to do what I was doing between the age 18 and 28, ignoring God, knowing that he lived, but ignoring him because I didn't really know what he wanted. Hell, who taught me? I didn't get that in the book. I didn't get it out of watching nobody. I just saw Dr. King talking about love and God and standing up there against the system, and I saw some changes made, and I also saw him die, which means to me that in order for Dr. King to be purified and ready for heaven, he had to die doing God's work. So I've been knowing that all ever since, but I've been trying to avoid dying. I've been trying to hope that by me sharing the message with you, that we as a people could receive that message and change our ways, and we don't just have to die by the enemy of God killing us. So at the age of 28, I ran for president of the United States. I had to run as a write-in. I don't know whether I ran as a Democrat at that time. I'd never been a Republican. But I did a couple of times running as a Democrat, and then after I found out the Democrats weren't interested in me, I started running as a write-in. And as a write-in, I also found that people weren't interested in me. Then I realized it wasn't me that they were turning their back on. They were turning their back on God. You see, what the message that I brought was to tell them that God created all things. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, and they that dwell therein. That means everything. And that God was the kind of God that just like a seed is planted, and the process takes place, and whatever is being planted from that seed will grow, and it will be exactly what it is supposed to be. And it works harmoniously. And that God had a system designed for us as human beings to live as though we were in heaven. We weren't put here to live as though we were in hell. We weren't living here to go through all these troubles. The blueprint for life, everlasting, it was set up for us. But then the deception came along. You know the deception, and that's why I used Donald Trump the other day, because you started talking about a snake in the garden with Adam and Eve. You're not going to understand that. But if I talk to you about America right here, if I talk to you about Donald Trump, even the system that we've been living under has produced Donald Trump. That means it wasn't so bad until now. It was always bad. But now it got so bad till they produced Donald Trump. And Donald Trump came in just like that snake. You're more important. You white, you're more important. You got gold hair, you're more important. You got blue eyes, you're smarter. You got white skin, you deserve more. You're connected to God. These people over here, you're supposed to use them to make your life complete. They came in with that same old lie. That's the same lie that every dictator means. A dictator says, I'm God. Let me tell you one more time what a dictator says. A dictator says, I am God. And you will do as I say, or as I force you, or I will kill your butt. That's what the dictator says, and he proves it every time. Now, you think that sounds like God? No, but in Russia, in the Philippines, they're working on it, in North Korea, in China, and so many other places in Africa and around the world. Dictators are running, beating people up, raping people, making them work for nothing, using them, abusing them. And God had a plan that gave you information about your purpose in life, and also gave you information that you are qualified to be the best, whatever God has designed you to be the best. And everything that each one of you have been designed to do plays a part in the creative process for your survival. You doing it. You need education, food, clothing, shelter, health care. You need these things. So now you've engaged yourself in one thing, and that is that special thing that God gave you. And all of you engaging yourself in it creates the opportunity for an abundance. So though you just did one thing, you'll never go without food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, and a career. You'll always have that. And that makes for all of the other stuff like the infrastructure, your city, your towns, your country, your state, and all of those different things. I ran against Jesse Jackson in that process. To make a long story short, I ran for president at least 3 different times. And each time, it was the same outcome. Nobody wanted to hear it. Your dreams, you pray. When I was in the pulpit, you'd ask me to pray for your dreams. I asked God how to fulfill your dreams. He tells me, and I come back and tell you how to fulfill your dreams. How do you do that? Trust God and stop trusting white folks. Trust God and stop trusting man beyond your ability to take care of your part. You take care of your part. Now, who is your part? Every last one of you. And everything will be answered. But no, nobody wanted to hear that. And so, some news station once stated that my problem in trying to reach the people is that I wanted more for them than they wanted for themselves. That kind of made me feel a little bit all right. But then I think about this, ladies and gentlemen. When you, every last human being in America, I can't speak for the rest of the world yet, that was going to take some time. But not a human being would be without a career. Even if you were bedridden, you don't want to just be bedridden, you can't do nothing. There's some things you can do as a bedrider. And that would be made available to you. And you could play a part in your existence. And not a black person, not a white person, not a Mexican, not any immigrant, not nothing else in America would have to suffer from any of these things. That's what I brought to you, and I told you how to do it. Oh, just trust God. God has a plan. See, God's plan is we, the people, acting like a family, engaging ourselves in that outcome. And when we do this, the reservoir, we call it the bank. The reservoir is just overflowing. There's so much stuff, we don't need all that in America. We'd be glad to show other folks how to amass these things. We'd be glad to show other people how to create heaven in their locale. But no, the system wasn't having it. People wasn't having it. The church wasn't having it. Wasn't nobody having it. And so, 38 years old, now I'm 70, living in this hell. Living in this hell, and this is hell. You take a rich man and let him live in the ghetto with like poverty. He'll tell you that is pure hell, and it won't take long. So you take a man that is awake, and find out what's around him. It doesn't take long for him to know that this is hell, and he don't want to be in it. So I've been saying, yeah, but I ain't gonna blame you. The system has been mighty. It made you reject God. You weren't rejecting me. You was rejecting what God was offering you. So for me, I would tell you, get up off your darn knees. Get up off your darn knees. Anyway, so here I'm laying in the bed sick today. Don't know if I got to the end of this day, let alone a long time. And then I'm up there looking at Donald Trump, this man that represents in the garden, that snake. Now this man has brought you to the level, reduced you to the level that it is ready, he is ready to fill in all of the positions of power. Ran all of you guys out who had a little sense, who had a little compassion, who had a little soul. Ran you out, sent you out, got on a radio station, a news station that talk about you and get you also mixed up. Then went out in the swamp and brought all the crooks he can find. Didn't even have to have them checked out to see if they were qualified. Just have some money, want some, and be low down and dirty. And you got hired. And he put you in position in the military, in education, in the energy, and healthcare, and all of the things that's important to you so he can control it, manipulate it, and stand up and lie to you in your face, and you better accept it. If you don't accept it, you better not to say nothing, because he has a plan to have somebody kill you. The American people, the America that I spent 70 years growing up in, who from 38 till today, I'm telling you this is the same message. And now you're going to suffer for not receiving this message. Ain't nothing I can do about it. The only thing I'm glad I did is that God did save me, and I recognized it, and he made himself available to me, and I shared with you that God is real. I'm not talking about that darn book. That book ain't real. That book is no more. Where's another book? That book is no more real. Oh my George. Than this book right here. And this is a book of notes, book of pictures and presentations that I've made. But they have no value whatsoever if you don't use them. Bible has no benefit whatsoever if you don't use it. And you're not using it. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't even have anybody telling you what is going on. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I've shared with you some stuff that really hurts. Now, I don't know if I'll be living tomorrow. I don't know, and if I am, I don't know how much longer. But I got children in this world. And I'm getting ready to leave out of here, I know that. I wasn't blessed enough to get killed like Dr. King. And for one other thing, let me say this while I can. When you talk about what did you really want out of life? Let me tell you what I really wanted. You know, I told you Dr. King was my number one, right? Okay. I wanted to be in that area, in that arena, in that section with Dr. King. I wanted to be in that thing with Abraham Lincoln. I wanted to be in that thing with Gandhi. I wanted to be in that thing with Jesus, whether real or fictitious. I wanted to be in that thing. So what I really wanted to do, if Dr. King kind of helped the black folks get a vote, I wanted to come into America to rise up and show people the way to have their dreams come true, to take the pressure off, to get the money out, and just love life and live and live. Well, that didn't go over too good. So now when I leave, I know that my kids are going to go through all of this hell. Donald Trump might even kill some of them if they're anything like me. And I know that now that the population, half of it, is following Trump straight down to hell and don't care because they figured they were chosen, they were special. They don't think that Donald Trump will lead them to hell. They think that Donald Trump is just doing this, and it appears that way because he got to get us in hell so that they can live. But the hell they're designing is for them just as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, my mission was to let you know again, with a few examples, that I do know that God is real. I do know where life is. and I do know the pathway to life. And what I've shared with you all of this time, which you have rejected, and it broke my heart when my son told me today he was working 3 jobs. 3 jobs. How is he going to have time to play with his children? How is he going to have time to make love with his wife and for them to travel and see things and do different things? Because every opportunity he got, he's on the job trying to make some money. Now he's just a representation of so many of you going through the same things, trying to live, trying to have a good life, trusting in the devil. When I say the devil, I'm saying trusting in the systems of the world. The American system that we live under today is designed from the beginning to do exactly what it's doing today. Now, over time, there have been changes that were necessary to kind of polish things up a little bit, to kind of hide what was really going on. But in time, they all broke down, and here we are today, right where we were headed from the beginning. In the beginning, did they design that everybody should have access to whatever is required for survival? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Why? Because they couldn't imagine that. That wasn't on their mind. No, they came from a different place. A different place where you lie, you cheat, you steal, you hustle, you take from people and claim it as your own. That's where they came from. Those people that hate this country, they didn't just automatically hate it. They were trained to hate it. And now they're going to overcome us because the Christian people have been lied to and they don't know the truth. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave that with you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just want to share that information with you, and you can do what you choose. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.